Alright guys, a lot of people have been saying there's a carbon tax coming, and it's not just going to be for large businesses, people who own automobiles, and a long list of other things are basically going to receive somehow or another a carbon tax, whether it be on their vehicles or at the pump or some other situation. And this seems like it is a real reality coming. This is another event horizon for them to control the environment and tax us for our water and our air and everything else around us, and basically claim the elements as something that government can tax you on using. They've done it with water for years. Now they're going to tax you on the carbon emissions and everything else. And this goes back all the way to 2001. Clinton's even involved in it. Even though Clinton has not adopted a carbon tax as part of her campaign platform, the decision is understanding. And this guy here, who's a Nobel Prize in Economics in 2001 winner, basically formed up with Clinton on taxing fossil fuels. So that means your gas, your gasoline at the pump, your natural gas if you have a place up north. Lots of others for your personal use will be used. Um, they're talking about Paris Climate Accord, so no doubt they're going to push climate change as a real situation. So what is a climate tax, or a carbon tax? A carbon tax is a way of assigning a price to carbon dioxide emissions produced by burning fossil fuels. The emissions imposed by social cost by contributing to unclean and harmful effects of climate change. So they're going to push climate change as a real thing. Among them, rising sea levels, less predictable rains, more intense storms, hotter summers, and disappearing lakes. None of the costs are reflected in this price of a tax or of a ton of coal or a bar of oil or a barrel of oil. I apologize, folks. However, which are their low relative to their theoretical cost. Markets are not about to start incorporating these costs unbidden, and for some, that means no one should try to make them. However, we all know that there is a debate going on about a carbon tax, and as much as 1979, Milton Friedman basically proposed a tax on manufacturers for the consuming to keep down the amount of pollution, and various effects have worked in things like what do they just say? Pollutants and emitted by cars, even things related to airbags and other things. In 2014, Michael Greenston of the Milton Friedman Professor of Economics at the University of Chicago described a consensus starting from the Milton Friedman and going to the most left-wing economics to prove that this is coming. 2015, there's 95% of economics who had published climate change, advocating a federal government commitment to reducing climate change, part of a multilateral agreement in a 195 country Paris climate change agreement. So anyways, ladies and gentlemen, the EPA's Clean Power Plan basically calls for a tax on carbon. So the whole thing there is that the EPA's Clean Power Plan. Sorry, folks, I'm just missing my place for some reason all the time here. So program is calling for a carbon tax to be implemented by the EPA. So this is real. This is not conspiracy. This is coming. You will soon have to pay an additional tax for using the everyday vehicles because the government has not stepped up its total ban on this. So this is a real thing going on, and you're soon going to have to start paying for carbon tax because they're not going to force big businesses to, even though big businesses put out the most. Now, I understand the big businesses do have to pay a certain amount, but from what I understand, they can also buy and sell those credits like tax incentives, and they can buy and sell and trade among different businesses. So a carbon tax is coming, folks. And that guy aligned himself with Clinton. Clinton is supposed to win the 2016 presidentials. So if she wins, there's going to be a carbon tax coming to your home. In what form exactly, I don't know, but it's probably going to be on everything you buy that involves some kind of carbon emission. So thank you.